What's up, guys? It's Al here, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. Now, a few things I need to say real quick is, one, there's a recent Windows update which completely screwed over my entire audio setup, so if at any point you notice any audio issues, please let me know so I can fix them. Fuck you, Windows. Second off, the reason I'm playing so much Scrap Mechanic is because a lot of the games, especially a lot more of the creative games I've been playing, due to their beta or alpha stages, have been having updates that have been causing some problems with recordings. Also, another reason I'm playing more Scrap Mechanics is because you guys have really been enjoying it. So since the success with the last Spud Tank episode, I decided to do another one. So, I built another tank, but that really isn't the main focus of this episode. We're going to look at it quickly. So here is the old Spud Tank, the one from the last episode that we did. This is a new one. It's kind of based off the British Tortoise. I actually really like the Tortoise tank. That and the, the T95 American Doom Turtle, as most people have called it. There's a version of with no armor, so you can see where the points are located. The front is fully armored. Hopping in. The turret only actually affects the little machine gun turret. Aiming is all normal as it is in the Spud Tank. So, 1 is left, 2 is up, 3 is down, 4 is right, 5 fires the main cannon. This cannon is a lot more powerful than the one in the old one. And then you have your little machine gun, which is actually still powerful than the old one. And something I don't think people realized is the old one actually, they have reticles. I've changed my reticle design slightly to better work with the Spud guns. So there is that. But that is not the focus of this episode. We're looking at them, but we're not focusing on them. Today we're going to be looking mostly at this, as well as building a new tank for our arsenal. This is the tank weapons controller. It's already on the Steam Workshop if you want to use it. Basically, it's an easy way to make guns that work in the same way that these do in these two tanks. So, quick explanation. This up here is the machine gun controller. So you press this button, it'll shoot a machine gun. You can change your rate of fire, however fast or however slow. If you want 2 guns that fire alternately, you can do that with this as well. And then this over here, the rest of the thing is actually the cannons controller. So going into the cannons controller, there are 3 changeable values. On this, on the machine gun controller, there's only 1. And I guess you could change these as well if you wish to. But quickly going over these, if we press fire, you can see what they do, and we'll quickly talk about them. So this is how quickly the burst happens. You can change them in relation with this. So that's basically how fast each spud fires. It really doesn't make much of a difference, but if you want to change it, you can. This here is how long the burst lasts. I think this one is set to a second, whereas this one is set to, I think, 300. So 0.300, whereas this one is set to a second. It's basically just how long the actual fire lasts. If we get out here, 1 Mississippi, and that's how long it lasts. This is how long your reload is. So this one's 4 seconds. I think the reload on this is 9 or 10. Reload on this one I think is 6. And that's pretty much how you do it. This is just an emergency reset. You shouldn't be able to break it, but if you spam it in some way that does break it, there is an emergency reset. I don't need it. I don't use it. But you can if you want to. Today we're actually going to be making a new tank, so I can kind of show you how I make tanks. So if you want to make your own arcade battle style tanks, you can. Today we're going to be trying to make a German mouse. So if you don't know what a mouse is, it is a World War II German prototype heavy tank, really big tank. Even though there was only, I think, 2 ever made, they never left the prototype phases. A lot of people really like them just because of how big and massive and powerful they were meant to be. So today we're actually going to try and make one and see how it goes. So we're going to be using 2 of these actually because I want to have 2 separate cannons. I could hook one of the cannons up to the machine gun, but I'd rather not do that. Because the mouse, I don't know if it ever did, but it was intended to have 2 cannons, 2 coaxial cannons. Interesting design actually. So I need this to be 3 wide because it is going to have a turret. And when I say 3 wide, a base 3, so there's an actual center. There's 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and the center. Base 3. Go ahead and build up what will be my turret. Now, do I want to place my seat right away? Might as well. I might end up having to move this. Considering how big the mouse is going to be, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll worry about that later. We'll just start building the turret itself. And I want this to have a really slow moving turret, so I'm not going to use electric engines like I do in these two. I'm going to actually use controller engines because they're going to be a bit slower. Actually, quite a bit slower. And now comes the actual mantlet. So I'm going to have one be a 4 wide cannon. I actually need to extend this slightly so I can get the turret pivot, or the cannon pivot I should say. I'm going to have a big cannon and I'm going to have a small cannon. So, small cannon. Then I'm actually going to attach 2 cannons to that, don't worry. And then big cannon. So there we go, we got our 2 cannons in. We've got the basic controls. We'll have to put driving in here shortly. But I'm going to quickly build up the turret itself to make it look a bit nicer. The top of the tank needs to be built up slightly just to hide the turret mount itself. And here shortly we can actually start putting armor and stuff on the tank. Do this different on the side, make it even, there we go. Now, the front of my tanks, I like to make them impenetrable just for the sake of most tanks you're not going to penetrate from the front. Yes, I know there's some, yeah. Go all War Thunder on you, things that can penetrate others but can't penetrate this, blah, 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 blah. But we're not going to do that simply because you kind of really can't set the penetration value as much as you can just make armor that takes longer to penetrate. I really don't... Fuck. Not paying attention to what I was doing. Because I'm actually trying to move this in one so that the armor can be thicker without making the exterior of the body look bulged. So I actually want the turret to have a 3 thick armor, so... The back really doesn't matter. It's probably going to be a 2 thick armor. That's going to be a big ass turret. Oh, and I didn't place these on. Oh. And I usually actually build my armor out like that, but I'm not going to. I'm actually just going to build the armor all the way up. Now comes the actual body of it. And I think the front of the mouse actually slopes, and the entire front of it slopes down. I should probably pull up a reference image. Probably be a good idea. Okay, now I've got images of what this thing actually looks like. Now, I'm actually going to do this to the armor now, because the turret actually has a slight slope to it. Yeah, looks good. The front is sloping, so we're going to build up the slope on the armor. We actually need to build the mantlet as well. I'm just waiting for me to cut something off that's really important. It's gonna happen sooner or later. I already cut the gun off by accident. And I have this, a 3 thick armor as well. That's gonna be a really fucking big tank. You know what? We're gonna do 3 thick and actually cut this off. Yeah, that looks good. I'm just gonna make this a behemoth. Just no holds back, as big as I can make this thing. We're not even halfway done and this thing looks intimidating. I'm gonna extend the front of this out a little bit, because the turret's actually pretty far back on the tank. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And let us just do this. Oh shit, not wood. Why do I even have wood in my inventory right now? Don't need it. And what do we need? We need to put tracks on this. Now, how am I going to do tracks? How do I want to do tracks? If I get a big wheel, I like big wheels for tanks. To me, it just looks proportional. So I have to place at least this far back. And then also cover up the majority of the tank's sides. I don't want to do that. I'm going to actually put them one lower, see how that looks. Not bad, and it leaves a lot of side to penetrate once I put all the wheels on. I'm not going to give these wheels any suspension whatsoever. I did it on this tank, but this tank doesn't have suspension on it, and it works quite well. I'm quite happy with it. Mind you, these are tanks, not really off-road vehicles, so... And I know some people go, oh, tanks are off-road vehicles. Not as much as you would expect them to be. I'm going to bring that down. Go ahead and put a little bit of a slope down here. There we go. And now we actually have to build the tank drive system. So will that be... that'll poke out of the armor. I don't want that. I need to move these in one because I want to have a plate. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Plate that goes outside the tracks like this does. Even though if you shoot it, you're not going to really hit anything. It just looks nice, and it's something more that you can destroy. I like it, so I'm going to do it. It needs to come in one. Holy shit, I just sneezed really hard. There we go, that looks half decent. Okay, so let's go. No, one more. There we go. I do a 5 spacing for my tracks. So I think it looks nice. Let's actually see if we can... Let's just do one side and then we'll mirror it on the other side. There we go, now we can actually see where the sensors are. A little bit easier. So there we go, that's the tracks done. Got quite a bit of hollow space in here, which is really good because that allows me to put engines as well as weapons controllers. Speaking of which, I need to actually plant these in here already. I'm going to need 2 of these. This is going to be interesting. I also need to know where my turret's pivot is. I don't know why this is in here. Okay. There's my turret's pivot. Let's go ahead and grab one of these. Should be able to slot it in right there. Looks good. Cover you up. And I'm going to paint you gray so you match. As long as it's not showing, we really don't care about it. And I actually need to paint these as well. These are going to be showing up here, at least not everything but that button. This way we can actually put our score in. Like that, we can put our score. So if any of those are showing, you get a score from it. Anyway, I'm going to need another one, so I'm going to spawn another one. Tank. Weapons control. Actually, I can just remove the tank from these. Do that, do that. Do that. There we go. Fix this hole. I'm actually going to make some new holes because I'm going to have to put electric engines down in here for driving purposes. And we need at least 4 for tank steering. And I also need a A&D converter. And once we put a seat in, which I should probably do right about now, to make sure I can get a good sight picture. Now the sights. The new sights I've been using are actually made with these. You do that. That's your up cross. There's your side cross, and now when you look at it, you actually have crosshair. And let me just... First off, let me add another one of these. Nope, not that way. That blocks my view. There we go. That's too far down. I just realized that. So now I've got 2 weapons controllers. I should have all the engines I will need, as well as my gun, or my, well, fake guns at the moment, my turret. I just need all the controllers for the turrets, which I can probably just cram somewhere. I'm going to cram them down here so I don't accidentally delete something in the turret. Let's go ahead and get controllers. Where are they at? There they are. I need 4 of these as well for the turret controls. I'm actually going to go below this to put them in. I'm going to need a lot of buttons. Now comes the fun part where we connect bearings. +1, -1, +1, -1, and now we start connecting buttons to the seat. So these 2 are controls. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. To match my numbering scheme, let's go ahead and run up here and test this. Okay, thank you, Scrap Mechanic. Let's see, 1. I also forgot to 2 as I need to reverse all of my bearings because they are all backwards. And I need to set all of my controllers to loop so it actually turns instead of just moving slightly. That is a really slow turret, which is kind of what I wanted. I guess it's not too far off from what I wanted, so I'm just going to keep it. Now, controls. W&S converter goes to seat. These go to wheels. The seat goes to these engines. Basic tank driving. Let's see how... actually, I need to crank these up real quick. just a little bit so we can get driving. Left and right work. Forward works. Oops. I'm going to crank all those engines up by one, and I think that's going to be the max speed of this thing. Because I intend it to be really slow. Like, obnoxiously slow. I'm happy with this. So now we actually have to, A, cover up all the holes we've made, and then paint on the scoring system. So, let's see. Rear, or side turret. Where did my turret actually, turret cuts off there. So side of turret, orange. I'm actually gonna get rid of that top layer. That top layer has gotta be gray or else it'll look weird. Back of turret, it's gonna be red. This down here is gonna be showing, so it's gonna stay that color. Up here is gonna be, you're gonna have a big chunk of yellow right here. Honestly, if you're not gonna be able to hit it like right here, or pretty much paint anything a Spud can hit. If you don't think it's going to hit there, don't bother painting it. Especially if you're not going to cover it with armor in some way, shape, or form. It's not worth painting it because it'll just look ugly as hell. There's a small patch of orange right there. And then a big patch of red right below the turret. Actually, we'll put the red all the way back from here. Paint all those red. Paint the entire back red. Except for right there, because that's where the tracks are sitting. Actually, yeah. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. No, we're not. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to delete those. Oops. I just meant to get rid of the color. So there we go. That's the mouse's hitbox. We're going to put a little bit more red in here, because I actually do plan on putting armor in these small gaps. More points the merrier, I guess. And now we can go ahead and get our cardboard and start layering it on. Like I said, I plan on doing a 3 thick armor layer. And I like to also color coat my armor. So basically, depending on what color of armor is showing, depends on what layer you're actually at. So like if we go over here to the, I think we took a big chunk out of the side of this one. No, we didn't. The first layer is gray, then dark gray, and then you actually get to the bottom layer. So I'm going to do black, dark gray, light gray. So this is going to be the lowest level of armor. And then another layer. And the reason I'm not doing the top or part of the turret, we'll do that in a second. Not my biggest concern right now. Guess that can be black as well there. So this is going to be dark gray. And lastly, the last layer of armor will be light gray. And this is the one that's going to actually cover up the entire tracks. We should probably also paint all of these. Pretty much anything that's not gray should be painted gray. Other than scoring based items. There's that side of armor. Gotta paint this armor. Now we actually have to paint. Yeah, actually have to armor up the turret itself. Go ahead and put the first layer on each side. Not sure I'm going to do the back of the turret. Yeah, haven't decided on that yet. Actually, I know what I'm going to do with the back of the turret. We're going to extend it really, really far. Give us more points to hit. Now that I think about it, you could do the armor where the deeper you go into the armor, the more points you get. So like a red layer of armor, a yellow layer of armor, an orange layer of armor, so on. That's going to be light gray. That's going to be light gray. Light gray, dark gray. That can be black. These are going to be dark gray. Gray. I'm just shouting out colors at this point. Commentary's gone to shit. Turn on storage sense. I just fucking turned off storage sense. What do you think? I fucking turned it off. I don't want the notifications. Fuck you, Windows. Okay, so now we've got the body, which is turning, the gun, which is turning. Everything's working. Now we just have to Gotta hook up the weapons. This is gonna be a 4 cannon. This is gonna be a 2 cannon. This is gonna hook up to you and you. It's gonna hook up to you. You. And I'm probably gonna have to drill through the armor. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to drill through the armor to get to these. So, Moss Spud Tank. So, okay, where are we at? I don't have to drill through the armor for this one. So it's fine. Reload. What cannon is this? This is going to the big cannon. Big cannon. Big cannon. You get 12-second reload because fuck you. And you will fire for 1.5 seconds. And I did hook you up. So you are dismissed. That should be the big gun. So if we fire the big gun. Oh, that's fucking amazing. Okay, little gun. What are your settings right now? I'm half tempted just to leave you. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking leave you. Huh. The mouse. Dun 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 dun. So I'm gonna have to finish painting up the barrel and the guns because I didn't paint the barrel. The barrel's still white. I think that looks ugly. I'm gonna tell you now, if you face the mouse, just drive around it really fast. There's nothing it can do about you. There's nothing it can do whatsoever. Just don't get in front of this thing's gun. Unleash hell. And I missed completely. Aim up. Oh, we might as well use 6. Aim up slightly. Unleash shell. Yes. I am happy with that. I am really happy with that. So, this, I guess, was not only showing you the mouse, the new mouse, how to build the mouse, but also how to build your own arcade-like destructible tanks if you want to build some for yourself. So I'm going to end the episode here. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, please leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the channel, enjoyed what I'm doing, please subscribe. It helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So if you do want to help out the channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. And until next time. Wait for it. Why is my gun freaking out? Peace. I fucking missed again.